Monday. It is currently only about 12 o'clock. We're sitting at the rest area just off of Interstate 30 in Texas. Where are we near? It's like Corby or something like that, Texas. Hopkins County rest area. I don't know. Cumbie, that's what I was thinking of. We're outside of Cumbie, Texas. You guys never saw the cheap freight that I hauled from El Paso and dropped off in Dallas. We did that this morning. That went just fine. Probably the cheapest freight that I've hauled. What was it at? I think it was right at $1.60 a mile for that entire run, so I wasn't too pleased with it, but it got me out of El Paso. We're loaded right now. We have a military, I forget what they call it. It's a hook lift container. It looks like it's both a storage container and I haven't seen inside the entire thing, but there is like an electric symbol on it, so I'm guessing there's some electronics or maybe like a small generator in there or something. I don't know. I'll show you that here in a minute, but we just picked that up in Dallas. We're taking it over to Little Rock, Arkansas for camp. What is that? Camp Robinson, that's right. Camp Robinson. We'll drop that off. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do it today, so I've sort of been just taking my time. We'll have to drop that off first thing in the morning tomorrow, but it pays pretty good. It would be a little more worth it if I could drop it off today, because if I didn't stop, I didn't have to stop for this break, but if I would have kept going, I could have gotten there at about 2:30, but they said that they quit receiving after 2, so unfortunately I gotta wait till tomorrow, so that kind of sucks, but oh well. Still looking for what's going on tomorrow, so I guess it's not the end of the world because I got nothing booked, but we'll see what happens. Man, there's like this smell all of a sudden. I don't even know if I'd call it a smell. It was just like something heavy, not breathable, suddenly hit me. Like my nose feels weird now. Anyways, let's go outside. So that's what we got. Big container, mostly storage shelves in there. It weighs about 18,300 pounds is what they said. So ignore the tare weight up there. The tare weight, that was correct when before they did the modifications. But anyways, we got 4 chains going around the frame there, and then 3 straps going over the top. So hopefully we can get a good look without the sun being right in your eye. So there you go. It's rolling good. I like it. The good thing about this truck, or when you get something that's big like this, so especially when it's heavy, if you get poor contact, or if you get contact all the way around on the bed, the truck becomes a lot more rigid. So whenever you hit bumps, there's not as much flex as if I were to have like one really heavy thing sitting like right there, and it only takes up maybe that much room. So because it's taking up the whole bed, the truck rides nice and smooth, and I like it, as opposed to something small where there'd be a lot of flex in the middle of the frame. Because this truck is only a single frame, or yeah, it's single frame, not double frame. So that means like if I have something heavy sitting in the middle of the bed up that way, the frame will want to bow, which is normal. That's supposed to happen, but it makes for a little bit less of a, well, it's not as comfortable. That's basically what it is, but it's also lighter. If I were to build a truck again, I would probably go with the double frame if I were to build one, just because there are moments where even with something like this, you could still feel not so much flex in the middle, but definitely turning. You could feel the, I don't know, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I would probably do double frame in the future. It's heavier. I'd have to see how much heavier it would be, but it might not be a bad idea, especially if I build another truck like this, which I know if I build a truck like this again, I'm probably going to set it up to haul just a little bit more weight too. So I don't know if that means I would go with a tandem axle or stick with a single axle, but maybe a heavier lift axle, or maybe 2 lift axles. I don't know. Anyways, our break is almost up, 29 minutes, and then we'll roll. We got 3.5 hours. We're gonna park up outside of the Loves, outside of Little Rock. So we'll stay over there and then head on over to Camp Robinson first thing in the morning, drop this big sucker off, and hopefully that's pretty simple. Military bases, they're always hit or miss as far as how quickly you can get in and out. Some of them you drive up and, you know, they do the walk around on the truck, you're in there and you're unloading within, you know, 10-15 minutes. Other ones, oh, you're there for hours on end as they do safety checks and all this other stuff, or you're waiting in line for all these other trucks to get in and out. So it's always hit or miss. Hopefully with this one being a smaller place, it'd be pretty quick and easy. So we'll find out tomorrow. In the meantime, oh, I never showed you. You might have noticed back there, if you saw ugly pieces of plywood sitting underneath the container, that's where that hole is. I'll show you that here later. So anyways, I'm gonna get a move on again and I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, good morning. We are in Little Rock right now, heading over to Camp Robinson. We are on the 430 outer belt for Little Rock, and we're going to be there in about 15 minutes, but I'll give you an update. So after we get this dropped off, we're going to shoot up to like Andersonville or something like that. I don't know, Arkansas. It's over on the just north of Memphis, kind of, so it's a little ways of a drive. But we're going to go over there and pick up a dust collector. I'm not entirely sure. Supposedly it's heavy. They say it's 20,000 pounds. So I'm a little curious to know what this thing is, whether or not it's a vehicle or a machine or what. But it needs a tarp. They say a 4-foot tarp would work. So that makes it even more interesting. So we'll find out what that is. And we're going to take that over to Oklahoma City. That'll be our load for today. Paying extremely well. It was a dedicated run, so it works out for me. And hopefully that goes smoothly. This container, I'll be glad to get it off because the truck drives fine, but them containers, man, they absolutely ruined your fuel economy. Let's see, I'm at 552 miles right now on this fill up, and when I was running this stuff to El Paso, when I was really light, 552 miles would mean that I would be just coming up on half a tank. Well, I'm just coming up on a quarter tank now, so that's basically shot my mileage in half. I would imagine I'm probably getting somewhere around 4 to 5 at the moment, as opposed to, excuse me, as opposed to 9 to 10 a little bit ago. So luckily it was a short drive, so that wasn't too bad. We did have a little bit of a headwind on the way over there. It wasn't too bad, but it was a noticeable headwind, so that hurt. But we'll get this unloaded here pretty quickly. We'll go and hopefully pick up our load first because I gotta be there before 1:30. So assuming we get this off pretty quick, I should have plenty of time to get over there, but I'm gonna get that loaded before I get fuel, just in case something's slowing me down, and then we'll go from there. We'll get fuel after that. So anyways, just want wanted to throw that quick update for you. We are going to be rolling into Camp Robinson here in about 14 minutes according to your GPS. Hopefully it's pretty simple over there. I looked at the place and it looks like they only have one main entrance. A lot of times these military bases will have a separate entrance for trucks alone, but this one here looks to only have one. I tried to call over there, but I didn't have any direct phone number, and their main directory line, no one picked up on that side. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's pretty simple, but in the meantime, I'll talk to you guys here later. All right, real quick, there's what we got. It's just an air filter duct. Basically, it's a framework. I think they said that black frame there with a bunch of filters in it. So that 20,000 pounds, that was a placeholder. They said, the people here said it doesn't need to be tarped, but the customer is requesting that it's tarped. So my tarp won't completely cover it. It'll be exposed about right there, which I told the guy and he said that's okay. So that kind of sucks because those wooden edges are gonna want to dig into the tarp, but whatever. It's a 400-mile journey. It's supposed to be dry the whole way. I would love to have just strapped and go, but gotta do what the customer wants. So anyways, strap wise, this thing only weighs like 2,000 pounds, if that. So I got two back here. I got one going over this frame. This is gonna pull this down quite a bit. This one here can only do so much because it's pulling down an empty space. I was gonna throw one way up there, but see how much that moves just with me wiggling it. I don't know if you can see with me wiggling the camera, but that's not the sturdiest. So I got another strap up here going across this top section, and the GoPro just randomly wants to turn off. So anyways, we got those two straps there. It's going to do the bulk of the work. This is just for moral support. I'm not going to do anything over the top. It's still, if you count it out with this one here, you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's basically 10 feet, which is the minimum. So I'm not gonna worry about it. So we're gonna do that and throw a tarp over it. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and I will talk to you here when it's done. and we're about 3 hours away from Oklahoma City. So we got ourselves loaded. As you saw in that little time lapse, I did have to tarp this big thing. It's really easy, or at least the product is. It's only about 1,000, maybe 2,000 pounds. It's just a metal frame with filters in it, as you saw earlier. But they did bring a tarp. Kind of sucks because it took me about, I don't know, half hour to get this thing tarped, just because when the tarp doesn't fit completely, it gets to be a struggle sometimes. So I have the tarp on it. I did have to pull over a couple times to fix a few things, so that was fun. Bungees and whatnot, and then I actually had to add 2 different straps to what was it, keep the sides from flapping around. Well, anyways, yeah, that's that. We will deliver this in the morning. I would guess around 10 o'clock, 9 to 10 o'clock. I do not have anything for tomorrow yet. That's unfortunate, but dealing with all this other stuff. That military load that I delivered this morning, that was a headache. So to keep that long story short, I get there, the lady at the security checkpoint at the front of the gate told me where to go. I went that way. It was incorrect. It actually ended up spitting me back out of the base, and the guys that were there, it was a whole different security exit. Technically, commercial trucks weren't supposed to go out that way, but it was the road that I was supposed to be on. And she said to just follow that road until you see your building. And I followed that road until I drove back at the damn place, never saw it. So they let me turn around and drive back in. But came back in, stopped at this one building where they could tell me where to go, and they said, yeah, just keep following this road and look, it should be there on the right or whatever after you follow this fork. So I went around that fork, kept going down this road, which was Missouri Avenue, was what the address was. So I go all the way down Missouri and I'm not seeing it. Now the numbers are going the wrong way. So I make a giant loop around the base, stop at another building, and I'm like, can you give me directions? And I'm like, I'm looking for this building here. He's like, oh, well, that's over there. And I turn around and it's like right across the street from me. Nowhere near Missouri Avenue, which is where it says it is. So I get there, and then I talked to the guys in that building. They had no idea this container was even coming in. So they had to call people. They also did not have the proper forklift to do it. So the only person that did know about it, which never told anyone else, was out for a dentist appointment. He was also the only person that could unload. So now I'm sitting there waiting for this guy to come back from his dentist appointment, and long story short, he gets there, brings a giant front end loader with forks on it. We get it off, but that was 2.5 hours after I got there. So that left me having to not fly, but I had to get moving to get over to get this pickup, because I had to be there before 1:30, and I think I rolled in there at 12:45, and then rolled out of there at about 1:45. So that was that. Anyways, call it quits here, and hopefully the rest of this week goes smoothly. I'll be sure to bring you guys along for the ride. So meantime, y'all take it easy.